Okay.
Who introduces the show? Hello again, this is Don Lange speaking to you for Seasoned Citizens Present. Today we're going to be talking under a CAPE. Now we'll explain what CAPE means shortly as I introduce my guests today. We have Marcia Leach with us today, who is chairman of this program, and Vickie Weber, who is the publicity director of the program. So we'll kind of start with Marcia, if you will. Tell us what CAPE actually stands for, will you, Marcia?
Well, CAPE stands for Carnival After Prom Extravaganza. And we're putting an after prom party together is what this is for the juniors and seniors at the high school. This is something new that's never been tried before. It's a parent group putting it together, and hopefully it's going to be a safe, fun evening for the kids, a drug-free, alcohol-free evening. It's going to be at the Muscatine Mall from midnight to 5 in the morning. It's all put on by volunteer work. We've gone out and solicited from a lot of businesses and companies in the community and raised money to give away prizes, gifts that will be given to the kids. We're also having casino games. There will be some other games going on also, like beach ball, volleyball, a speed pitch. We're also having the use of the movie theater for 2 to 3 hours. There'll be movies shown throughout the evening. Be free food for all the kids, pizza, popcorn, chips, a variety of things that way. And this is all free. The kids pay nothing. We will be giving tickets out starting next week at the high school, and they can pick those up along with their prom. They have to pay for their prom ticket, which I think is a minimal charge, but the CAPE tickets are free and given out to any junior and senior to come. And we hope we get a big turnout.
Sounds tremendous. Now, may I inquire, just so we can talk about, how was it started? What brought it up? Are you connected with anything particularly, or is this just an afterthought to help out the students to get away from any possible problems in the future?
Right. Well, it was originally our assistant principal who's new at the high school. This was kind of her idea. And a lot of the communities around us, Bettendorf, a lot of the Davenport schools have done this for the past 8 to 10 years. And Muscatine just has not done anything, and she was hoping that we would get this started. So she kind of got the ball rolling. Several of us took an afternoon and went up and talked to a counselor at Bettendorf who's in charge of theirs there, and he kind of got us started and gave us some ideas on how to get this thing off the ground. So that's how it did get started.
Well, that's great. I have seen some of the advertisements up there where they have students talking about it. And I think you have a definite advantage. Yours is going to be at our local mall, which certainly gives you room, where theirs, I have noticed, both are being held at bowling alleys, which I don't know if that's disparaging or not, but I noticed that's going to be limited space in the sense that you have the whole mall, like you say, the advantage of having a movie theater there to utilize too, along with the rest of the mall. And the response has been great with sponsors.
Sponsors have been wonderful.
Oh, that's great.
Everyone in the community has just opened their arms. I think very few people have turned us down for any kind of donation or prize. A lot of it's been monetary or in some, prizes that we will be giving away.
That's great. Just curious-wise, of talking in that vein, will the mall be locked? I know you're giving out tickets now. Are you going to actually try to curtail any problems of having...
Yes, the mall will be locked except for one entrance, and the main entrance will be open, and we will have several people there at the door, and the kids will have to present their ticket and show some kind of identification to get
Great.
in.
I assume you'd have some way to kind of curtail and keep track,
It's not going to be a lock-in type thing.
No,
and
sure
once
not.
they can leave, at any time they want, but once they leave, then they can't get back in.
I see. Okay, well, Vic, what do you have to say about this? Now, I'm sure you've saved something back to kind of explain what's going to transpire here the 16th.
Well, yes, and I actually kind of wanted to discuss a little of the philosophy, too, being an employee of the public school system and working at the high school. and also being the mother of 2 teenagers that are high school age, I think it's wonderful. And I think something that the parents, our young people this day and age, there's so many things that they can be exposed to. Drugs, drinking, the automobiles, and a night that should be a highlight of their life shouldn't be a tragedy for anyone. And so the main philosophy is to have a safe evening for them, but fun. I mean, you have to offer an alternative for our young people. And in talking to the community, we were very excited at the response. Everybody wants it for these young individuals, not just parents. And when I called you, that's why I wanted this particular program involved, because I think especially the seasoned citizen Muscatine community have a lot to offer our young people.
We hope so.
And getting them involved, if they want to come and offer their time, and later in the program I think you're going to show a phone number. Anyone wants to come and help serve food or help clean up or make a donation. Although the community has donated a lot of the prizes, which we'll hopefully discuss and get everybody excited about, especially our young people. We also need volunteers to operate the games, to monitor. Like we said, it will be closed. The mall will be closed, but we still would like to have people walking if possible, not just parents, because then that kind of puts a damper on the young people's evenings. They don't want mom and dad there,
Not particularly,
but they don't mind someone else. And also the parking lot, to make sure that, I don't think we've ever had any problems now. I've helped chaperone the last 3 years, the prom, and it's been a wonderful evening. And I can truly say we have not had one incident.
Well, that's great.
And the kids have been just delightful. And it's an exciting time for everyone. And so that's why we're hoping to get everyone involved and letting the people in the community know that teenagers are basically good. I think
There
we
you
hear
go.
the bad things, but let them know there's a lot of good kids out there.
I think that's great. One thing I think I do want to bring up, because it was spoke of briefly at our incept here, I think Marcia mentioned, this is not connected whatsoever with any school activity per se.
No.
They're not sanctioning it particularly. You are representing them as being part of, but not for them particularly.
Right.
Because Marcia did mention, that this is entirely a different entity of your own, rather than being, although the principal was one that started.
This
I think
thing,
it's
if you
great.
see the posters around town, states it is sponsored by Muscatine Community, and that's what we want. We would like to have if organizations involved.
Sure.
Hopefully the Rotary Club, if in some way, if they just want to operate one game. I do know in Marshalltown, for instance, they have a very wonderful organization, and the Rotary Club, they sponsor a faction of it. The Kiwanis sponsor another faction. The JCs are in charge of something, and it's a gathering of everybody in the community. And that's where I'm also find it to be very beneficial. The young people are going to be people that are going to join these organizations eventually.
Right.
And that's another entity and another resource for these people to get these young people involved with them eventually. Remember we saw the prom extravaganza, and now they're coming back and hopefully joining business and professional women and joining the Rotary organization and giving back to the community themselves.
I think it's a very good thought. I don't think that's necessarily forward in everyone's mind, but it certainly would be something, because, like you say, you want these kids to be there and enjoy it. You don't want them getting out of something boring, like
Yes.
they would so often, if there isn't something there that really excites them to keep going. And Marcia, would you like to kind of get into
Well,
some of the
I
activities?
didn't mention we're also going to have a karaoke
Yeah.
machine that evening. And I think the kids are real excited about that. I've heard a lot of good comments. I think those
It's a
are
big
real,
thing right now. It
real
really
fun
is.
things. So we're going to have that set up with a stage and kind of a little area like a nightclub atmosphere.
Will there be records playing, or
I think we're trying to
some
get a
after
DJ.
dance? Yeah,
We've
okay.
had a little problem lining somebody up, but hopefully we'll have a DJ also.
Now, you might have to explain what a karaoke is. I have to tell you, my mother had no idea what I was talking about.
Well, a karaoke machine, they sing along to
Right.
music into a
Anyone does.
microphone.
Anyone does.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of fun. I
Right.
think it can be a
It's a
fun evening.
big thing.
And
Oh,
I
it
think
is.
the casino games that we have set up, we have blackjack, craps, any kind of a casino game. I'm sure the
yeah.
kids are, really going to enjoy that.
Yeah, sure.
And when each kid comes in, they'll be given I think $50,000 is the plan in play money for them to...
That's a little inflationary, I think.
Right, to play with during the evening, and then at the end of the evening, they can buy chances with this money to win some big prizes. We have televisions to give away, a VCR, portable phones, disc player, gold necklace, Oakley sunglasses, which is a big item for kids.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Or we get a mountain bike yet? Did they get
We
that?
haven't gotten a mountain bike yet. Possibly a
35 million.
computer, we've talked about, cameras. And then throughout the evening, we have smaller prizes that we're going to be giving away. Hopefully, you know, most of the kids there are going to win something.
That'll entice them.
We've got
Very
sweatshirts,
definitely.
T-shirts, food prizes to give away, money. We're also giving away cash. Two
Always come out of this
$100
good.
bills, $50 bills, $25 bills.
I think I might come out.
Sounds like a good deal,
Yes.
doesn't
But
it?
these are all things to entice the kids to come.
That's tremendous.
We
You are having a great response with that much merchandise
Yes.
being offered, obviously. That's coming from merchants here in Muscatine,
has
and I think that's
been.
fantastic, that they are backing that well.
Well, for the
Personal
first year,
companies have
and-
been,
Yeah, and personal, I imagine there's been some
Right,
personal
checks.
offerings too, you bet.
Right, we had a big advertisement in the Muscatine Trading Post, and in there, if any of you have seen it, you can just sign your little name on there and write out your check and mail it into the high school. It is also tax deductible. Also, the food and parents were getting pizza throughout the night and pop, and like she said, the mall theater will be open for several hours so that kids can come free of charge and watch movies at that time. Also, I heard today that Sears is going to stay open with their photography, and they're going to take pictures of kids if they want to come in, and I think that'll be wonderful. You think about it,
Yeah.
the last time a lot of these people are going to get to be together.
It
And
happens.
so, as they go their separate ways, and so they can go in and have a fun photo taken throughout the night.
That's great.
And so that'll be a real special thing for everyone. And, of course, I think prom's kind of changed since you and I have been,
Well, not you and I, dear, because that's a long spread too.
well, through the generations, it's
Yes.
changed.
Oh,
and
yes, yes.
Although I think they're going back to the horse and buggy now. A lot of the individual, they go to prom in the horse and buggy here that they
How about
have.
that? How about
Isn't that how you went to prom, Don? Oh, sorry.
Well, that's real tough. Thank you.
But they're going
Close.
to have that, and that's something else. When the young people come to get their tickets, their name will be dropped into a bucket, and then the week prior to prom, there'll also be prizes given away. So maybe a young man will win a free tuxedo rental that night, corsages, boutonnieres, a dinner for two, limousine service.
Yeah.
And so those are all things that will help them to encourage them to even come
Right.
and get the ticket to attend. It'll be worthwhile for them to be involved.
I must commend both of you on the excellent plan you have set up. And I imagine you are pretty much responsible for everything that's,
Well, we have
I know
We're
you
in
have
charge, but
people
we
with
have
you,
good
sure.
committee people.
Obviously, everything is just working so well for you. I'm so happy for
I
you.
might mention Cindy
Sounds
Garvin
good.
is our food chairman.
Okay.
So she's been in charge of getting everything lined up that way. Billy Severance, who's a fairly new member in the community. They just moved here a year and a half ago from Johnston, Iowa. And she's in charge of the games. She's worked very hard. Mary Lanphier is in charge of our setup and cleanup, which is going to be a big thing, because we can't get into the mall until 6 o'clock on Saturday evening, and we want to do some decorating, and of course to get the tables and all the games
Sure.
and everything set up is going to take some time.
Well, you said you're trying to make it look like a carnival atmosphere, so logically that's going to take a bit.
So we need to blow up a lot of balloons, and
What time is the actual activities? Now, the prom is until what?
until midnight.
Midnight? I was thinking 11, midnight, okay.
until midnight.
Then you
And then
start
we start right at midnight.
at that time, then, as soon as I
because
can...
kids are welcome to come even if they aren't involved in going to
Oh,
prom.
really?
We want any junior or senior.
Okay.
It's
That's
open
that's
to
interesting,
anybody.
too, to...
Because a
Have
lot
that
of kids
stated.
choose not to go to prom.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
And the other thing, too, is that there is a potential. Now, well, it'd be wonderful if we reached that number, but actually, there is the potential of 900 students could attend this.
How about that? What is the actual number in high school registered?
Well, registered in the juniors and
Junior, senior,
seniors.
yeah.
We came up with that figure the other day. It was a little over 750. So then, if you, some of them now, if they register their guests, for instance, if they're dating an individual that's from out of town, and that individual is a junior, senior, or alumni, they may have that individual come with them, and that person also may attend the C.A.P.E. Party afterwards.
Okay.
Also, so they may bring their date also with them.
Oh, that's great.
So-
Like I say, I think you really planned this out well, and I'm sure from the little I've heard, like I say, I have a relative going to be there, and from indication there, they seem to be pumped up about it. I mean,
Yeah.
very, very pleased with the whole
Well, after midnight,
situation.
the kids still want to do
Yeah,
something, and they
usually.
want to be out, and for logistical reasons, it's impossible for everyone to have, house parties, again, and sometimes they're monitored, sometimes they're not. It also keeps the individuals off the highway from going out of town
Yeah.
and going somewhere where they're on the
Be exposed,
highway
right, to
late at
alcohol,
night.
too.
And also, it takes a relief off a lot of mom and dad's minds if they know
Amen.
they're in a,
Amen.
if they're in a safe
Very
place.
definitely.
Right. The kids typically, I think on prom, think that prom means they can be out all night. So
It's their first escape from
Right.
school, technically, as a junior and a senior, so
So-
they feel a little looser, as it were, One thing, too, I'd like to bring up in this particular segment of it, you are showing that you can have fun without drugs and alcohol, whereas, and I'm not being critical of anything, but like Dare and what have you, they're saying not to do it, but that's the extent of it. I mean, they're saying no, 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 where you're actually giving something to really take a place of what might be a potential prospect for them to do after something. So I think that, again, is just
And that's
really
the
favorable.
idea of having all the
Right,
prizes and the
right.
money to give away.
To bring them there.
Unfortunately, we have to offer the kids in this day and age something to entice them to get
Yeah.
them there.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's
And,
true of all. That's not
not just the fun evening, that's something that's going to really trigger them
Yeah.
to want to come. And having all
But
this
you're doing
money
that,
and
and I think
prizes
that's
is-
fantastic. And I think the reception is great that you are receiving.
Well, and also with the mall, too, I mean, what a wonderful thing. Actually, there isn't a facility in Muscatine that can hold those numbers. And also be
No.
feasible that we would have some control over the environment. And when we approached Lana at the mall, this is something that we would like to do, extremely receptive. Because there has been some bad publicity with the youth causing problems at the mall.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And this is a way to
Very
bridge
awesome.
that gap and heal a lot of wounds and misconceptions about the young people. And the merchants in the mall have been just absolutely wonderful and very cooperative. And, our young people have the spending dollar also, and hopefully they will appreciate
Amen.
and show that these people do want them, and,
Right.
and there is a place for them. There are certain guidelines that they need to follow, and I think it's beneficial for everyone in the community. I think it also shows, I think a lot of kids feel the community doesn't care about them, that they're a bother. They're in
Right.
the way. They
Right.
don't want them here. They don't want them there. And this shows the community cares.
Right.
And it was the one thing one individual said to me. We had a student council meeting, and one kid sat there and he raised his hand. I saw there when I was presenting the idea. He said, "Why are they doing this?" And I said, "Because people generally care." And I think it absolutely, he says, "Really?" He says, "These people are giving us, what's the catch?" They thought there was
You
a
bet.
catch to it, an
Right.
angle. And I said, "Absolutely not."
It's hard, I think, for youth to conceive that the parent, not just parents, but other people do have an empathy for them if they really want them to have a good
Right.
time and want them in the
And
society.
it doesn't necessarily mean they have a teenager.
No, not at all,
A
not
lot of
at
our
all.
donations came from people that have had kids that have grown up in a
Long time
way,
gone,
long
yeah.
time gone. And they're giving back to the youth that are here. And I think the youth need to know that people do care and want them safe and want them active and happy.
And we hope this isn't just an activity this year, that it's going to be something ongoing.
Well, I do too. I
Going to
think
be a
once you've got the ball
tradition,
rolling, I
right,
don't
in
think it'll be anything
Muscatine,
then.
so-
You know them all, always be receptive,
Right.
because it's good advertisement for them too.
Well,
I'm not being
actually, it's
facetious,
good-
they're going to be happy to have
Good
it.
publicity.
Because people say, look what the mall did
Right.
for our kids or whoever's, Not
And the
just-
mall was good, gracious enough to have us, but we've had wonderful response from downtown merchants. So,
Okay.
you know, we don't
Yeah, you don't
want
want
to
to, no.
forget
No,
them
not at all.
anyway,
Not at all,
because
not
I
at
know they probably thought, oh, you know, having it at the mall is
Sure.
not maybe the thing they would have liked, but they've all been wonderful
You
about
can't
giving
hold it
us.
downtown to Second Street, it just isn't going to work
Right.
that way, so. Because you have a controlled environment, like you said, you can set things up, and you mentioned that the possibility of having problems with youth that we unfortunately have to have in our society, you have some control there with the only one area being open, which will be
Well, we
something
have
to
some
control.
fathers in security that are volunteering their time to just be out in the lot, making sure
Watching.
it's not with their own youth, but making sure that some youth in
No, that
outlying
sounds
areas
right.
want to come in and this is something we want to keep going, and that's why we've involved some of our younger people, not just the juniors and seniors. The sophomores are more or less kind of responsible for prom itself and seeing that the tickets are collected and
Which
work
gets
that.
them involved originally, or
today
starting
I-
out, you
Gets
bet.
them excited for
Gets
the
them
next year.
excited, and then we had some freshmen approach us today, and they want to be involved, which is nice. They came to us.
Yes.
And so I said, well, what about cleanup? Well, they thought it was great. So I
that?
might have to offer a few people a breakfast, but that's okay.
That'll survive, I
come in.
imagine, somehow.
Yeah. And
Imagine somebody will volunteer that. Now, you've already mentioned a particular area here. Approach them on it.
well, I
And I'm
think
sure
we
they're
will.
going to be tickled to
Well, I think
work
so. We
something
have
out,
to
you
get
know.
the people involved, and they really want to, and with the community and the cutbacks, and that's why the
Oh, yes.
school, they would like to be able to do this, but financially they're just not able to.
No, we keep reading of all the cutbacks that we get from the state and the federal, and then that just reflects down on the locals. And it's got to come from somewhere, and you girls are volunteering. I think that's tremendous, and you're getting good reception of volunteers and getting many businesses involved, which curtails expense, I mean, too, for you. That's
Sure,
tremendous.
absolutely.
I've read of different, like, recently they had a segment on local TV, all three stations had on about this, and they were talking about, like, soda. Did you hear or see that particular program where they were talking about an organization called SODA that stood for Students Opposed to Alcohol and Drugs, SODA. And it was formed in the high school. I mean, you're not in this particular thing, but I'm saying they got that started, but I heard nothing about what you're doing that really will entice a student to be sincerely thinking strongly about it,
Yeah.
because you're giving him something other than to do than.
Well, prom has really grown to be something far. When we attended prom, I mean, you went to the dance and that was it. Although I do remember going to the old, well, it's up by the bridge. It used to be the old radio station many, many years ago. We
You want me to say the name
no,
of it?
yes, what was
KPNT.
yes.
Know
It
the
was
naked
there.
truth, yes, I
It was
know
up
that.
there years ago, and they
Yeah.
had after prom party up there. But it was pretty much limited. It was just like to 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you were expected to go home.
Back out again.
Yes, and so now our young people, they start out as early as, well, I think they start getting ready. I don't know. Marcia has a daughter that's senior as I do, but Beth started getting ready about 5 o'clock. And
They dine out, don't
they
they?
dine out.
Sure.
That's the big thing. They dine out and
Have their picture taken at the
Taken.
studio beforehand.
Usually, yeah.
And then some of them get together, rent a limousine. They usually will eat here at some of the places in Muscatine or in the Quad Cities, and then they're back in town by 9 o'clock and go to the dance. And it is enjoyable seeing all the young people dressed up. I mean, they are absolutely gorgeous.
That was a question I had, just curious-wise. You've already mentioned that your program actually begins as of 12 when the prom subsides. Do you think all these kids are going to be wanting to come out there in their fineries?
Well, they can come
Take their ties off, I'm
Right,
sure.
right.
But you know how they're going to be
I think
dressed.
most of them are probably going to go home and change,
Okay.
put shorts or
Yeah,
whatever,
I'm sure.
and be
Because
comfortable.
they've been pretty all night.
Except,
There might be a few that still.
there was one young man that said, if I pay $75 for a tux, I'm wearing it all night.
As long as I can, I'd go on with that. Why not? That's big bucks, you know, for kids, for anyone really in this day and age. But I think that's tremendous, and I'm so proud of both of you that you have done it along with your committees, you know, that this has worked out so well and that it's going to be outstanding. And
I hope so. And like I said, if anyone wants to help us set up, we'll probably be starting out there.
I think we
people-
can get in the mall at 6.
6.
You're in the mall at 6.
6.
Okay, let's kind of work into that right now. We are always accepting volunteers. I think you
Right.
mentioned the cleanup, which right now is not a job that everyone really likes.
Because
You've
it
been
starts at
happy.
4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a bit. So we are accepting volunteers, believe me. If you have any thought of volunteering cash, which is acceptable, or your own valuable time, any time during this production, we'll welcome a call at, let me get this right now, 264-3832, which is Marcia's home phone. Marcia isn't sitting by the phone waiting for your call, incidentally. There might be one of those funny little things to say, "Hi, I'm Marcia, I'm not here." Do respond who you are and what phone number to reach you. She'll respond as quickly as possible. Get your name, because it's very important, because all the help that is going to be offered will be needed, plus probably some that won't be
Right.
volunteered. It's just unfortunately that you can't always have the complete, but it sounds like you're working up pretty well. Like you said, freshmen are coming. And I think it's ideal, too, because the freshmen looking at it now are going to look forward
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
to in
Right.
later.
To give you an idea, we figure we need 60 to 70 people just to run the games.
Oh, my.
And I think so far they've done pretty well on getting their people for that. And then we want people walking around. We have several doors that we need to have manned throughout the evening, so the kids can't get,
Yeah.
they aren't going to be able to get in, but somebody could open a door and let someone
Oh,
in.
yes.
So we
Well,
need
you
to have
can't
those
ever-
watched.
Yeah,
and-
you can't.
And we have a hospitality room for all the workers that come. It won't be a boring evening. We'll have coffee, and we have a lot of food that's also been donated,
How
so
about that?
the adults can gather, and if you want to donate $1 an hour, we'll take it. You know,
There you
that's
go.
great.
You heard that direct from the publicity manager right
Right,
here.
we'll take it.
So, ladies, I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, yeah.
and taking time to explain what's transpiring. This 16th, 17th will actually be your time, won't it?
Right.
Right.
16th will be done when they get there. So, again, we hope the response is as we sound like it's going to be, that they'll all be there and you will get more volunteers. So, again, we thank you for taking this time out, and we, again, like to take this time to thank the Heritage Cablevision Company for allowing us to use their studio, and to our cameramen who are very dutiful and take good care of us, and our program director. We thank you for being with us in our telecast again today, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, and have a good day.